I thought people might like to know one or two things. First, I am stopping the Predictions in Brief project, and there are two main reasons for this. The first one is, as the UFC has expanded, it's put on more shows. More shows mean more predictions videos, and I'm so busy with them quite often that I don't have time for Predictions in Brief, which was a second-rate sort of project as it was. The second reason, and the reason that most bugs me, is the fact that, you know, Predictions in Brief has sort of started as a 26-week project in which I mapped the little organisations, and I went round a lot of organisations in the US, most of the ones that had either people I knew in them or websites. You'll have to excuse me. Apologies, but it's so rare that I get phone calls. I take each and every one. The second thing that really bugged me was the fact that a lot of organisations, however small, have websites, but they don't seem to have competent webmasters at all, and perhaps it's because I'm used to being associated with a forum that has an exceedingly competent webmaster. I don't know, but here's what I'm thinking. If you are bothered to put on a website, then surely you should be bothered to update the website. Now, I understand that it gets quite busy when you're doing, you know, events coordination. I know, because I do have a background in events management myself. However, we're talking about weeks and weeks later. It's unacceptable, I think, a week after an event to still be broadcasting upcoming events as the last event. It's unacceptable not to have a list of who won and who lost. It's little things like that. It's also unacceptable a week in advance not to have a full published fight card. Particularly if you are an organisation that isn't televised. It's not like you're trying to hide anything from, you know, people knowing. I understand that lists are subject to change, but that is all you need to write on the bottom. You don't need to be worried about publicising something that's not going to happen if things change. But as a fan, I would never, ever buy tickets to a mixed martial arts event if I did not know who was on the card. Even if I didn't know the people that were on the card in terms of what they'd done before or stuff like that. I can research if I have names, but I'm not going to waste money in going to an event which could be run by whoever and which, you know, claims that it's going to have a full night of fights but can't actually be asked on its own web page to tell you what those fights are going to be. Now, this happens so often that it became impossible and not worth doing it. What's the point in doing a video when I say, oh, XFO has an event coming up, but they haven't published the details, so, you know, I hope everything goes well, but I can't tell you who's fighting, I can't give you predictions, it's a waste of my time. So I'm not doing it, and the two to blame, because what happened was, after that 26 weeks was over, I picked the organisations that seemed to be the biggest, the most proactive, and I carried them forward on weeks when they were doing events. At the end of the day, now, my two biggest XFO and Maximum Fighting Championships just are rubbish in putting up what they're going to be doing, even a week in advance. I cannot be arsed with it anymore. So, you know, those two companies are really to blame for me axing the whole thing, which I'm sure you won't mind, really. I don't think it had that many followers anyway. What I am going to keep doing is Bellator. Sometimes they produce more than others. They have been known to produce full cards several weeks in advance. Sometimes they only list the televised bouts, and that's what they've done this time. But they are a good organisation, and they are, I would say, relatively brilliant in terms of their website maintenance. They have a card coming up. This is Bellator 72 on July the 20th, and that's in Florida. This is their welterweight tournament final, and they also have a welterweight feature fight. The feature fight is Mario Zaramoskis and Watchim Spirit Wolf, or something like that. I'm going to go for Marius Zaramoskis on that. And their welterweight tournament final is Carl Amasso and Brian Baker. See, I have supported both of these at different points in this tournament, and they are pretty even. 15 and 4 for Carl, and 18 and 3 for Brian. I think I might go actually for Brian Baker there. Now that's all they've got listed, but at least they bother to do that, is all I can say.